Okay, so in this session, I will select some slides and explain some key concepts related to vocabulary assessment. Then you could ask me questions about this topic or about our final assignment. So are you clear? Yes?
Yes.
Okay, good. All right. Okay. Okay. So today's topic is vocabulary assessment. In other words, how should we test vocabulary? Now, by the way, is my voice clear to you? Yes?
Clear. Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thank you. Okay. When it comes to vocabulary assessment, I think there are essentially three ways to assess vocabulary. That is, how can we assess vocabulary receptively and productively? Do you still remember what receptive vocabulary is and productive vocabulary is? So what is receptive vocabulary? Do you remember? Receptive vocabulary is the vocabulary that we can you
And
provide the remaining the missing information? The vocabulary that we can recognize
yes.
in what and what, remember? In listening, in reading and listening, right?
Yes.
Okay. What about productive vocabulary? Just to remember what it is.
Use.
Productive vocabulary is a vocabulary that we can use, produce in what and what contexts. You speak and writing. It's different, right? Now, which vocabulary is more difficult? Receptive or productive?
Productive.
Productive, that's right. Productive vocabulary actually is more difficult because it requires more than recognition of the meaning, right? We have to maybe understand how to use the words and what are the common collocates for the word, right? Okay, so it's more difficult. So one way is we assess either receptive or productive vocabulary. The other way is to assess breadth and depth of vocabulary knowledge. Breadth, do you understand the meaning of breadth? Can you give me a synonym of breadth? Breadth actually
How many vocabulary you know?
Size. Or in other words, how large your vocabulary is, right? Okay. So you see, a breadth is this kind of a dimension, right? Okay, the horizontal dimension. What about depth? Depth means where you can understand the vocabulary, right? So this is the other dimension, vertical. Okay. So which one do you think requires more knowledge, breadth or depth? What do you think?
Both.
Yeah, for breadth, actually, usually how do we measure the vocabulary size? Now, the quick way is, we just measure, for example, like whether you know the meaning of the words or not, right? Remember, at the beginning of in our first lecture, I recommended an online test so that you could, test your vocabulary size. Remember? So what knowledge is tested in that vocabulary size test? Perhaps only meaning recognition, right? Okay, yes. But depth means the quality of vocabulary knowledge. This should be more complicated, right? Regarding the depth, perhaps we have to know not only the meaning, we also have to know about, for example, how to spell the word, right? How to pronounce the word. And also we need to know how to use the word, or maybe there are different meanings of the word, right? Okay, a word may have several meanings, and also we have to differentiate like the connotative meaning and denotative meaning, right? Okay, so that is more complicated. The last, way is to assess vocabulary using writing. So what knowledge is assessed, in writing? Receptive or productive vocabulary? What do you think? Receptive or productive? What do you think? productive, right? Because you have to produce the word in writing, right? So you have to know the word meaning, you have to know how to spell it, and perhaps you have to have some information about how this word can be used. Okay, right? Okay. But assess vocabulary used in writing is, is more, is in a less controlled context, right? When we assess like receptive, productive, or breadth or depth of vocabulary knowledge, usually we use kind of a test format, right? For example, like multiple choice question, right? Or you can match a word with its L1 definition, L2 definition, right? Okay. So assess vocabulary using writing, is in a freer context. Okay. Let's take a quick look at the three assumptions for receptive and productive vocabulary. Okay, can you provide the missing words here? The receptive vocabulary is what? I need an adjective here. So can anyone give me an adjective?
Easier.
Yes, easier, but yes, but okay, it's easier. That's true, but in terms of the size,
Oh,
I need
larger.
I need a adjective, which we can describe the size. The size can be either
Larger.
yes or small, right? So receptive vocabulary is larger or small. What do you think?
Larger.
That's right, larger than the productive vocabulary. And okay, this sentence, this statement concerns which type of vocabulary will be acquired first. What do you think? So
Reception.
Reception, that's right. Reception will be acquired first, right? So in other words, reception precedes production, right? Yes. Okay. And the last one is easy. Production is more what than reception?
Small.
We need a adjective again. And I remember Dennis mentioned the answer for the first question. Remember, production is more easy or difficult? What do you think?
Difficult.
Yeah, difficult. That's right. Yes. So you have to understand that these three assumptions are regarding receptive and productive vocabulary. So it means that, for example, when we first teach our students some vocabulary, at the beginning stage, you only, test them receptively or productively. For example, if you just, maybe yesterday I taught students like 10 words, maybe a few days later. So we're going to, test them receptive, productively. What do you think? Receptively first, right? Because production is more difficult than reception, right? So usually we start with, if students just learn some new vocabulary recently, we test them receptively, okay? And later, you give them more opportunities to consolidate the learning of these words, then you test these words productively, right? Okay. Okay, okay, we can, there are different types of tests, right? And I think closed test will be often used by teachers, right? Closed test. For example, we can provide a sentence. You can gap one word and ask student to provide a word, right? Or sometimes you can provide student with more coherent text, and you can gap some words, right? Okay, so this is called the closed test. Actually, I'm going to show you an interesting tool where you can generate closed test automatically. So all you need to do is to, input a text. Okay. What you need to do is just, follow the link, open it. Okay. So you open, so this is a vocabulary profile closed builder. Okay. So this is the name of this. So we have to choose a text. Okay. So let me choose a text. Let me choose a text, for example. Already I have a text. Okay, so this is a text. Just let me close all the other files, okay? Okay, so you just copy and paste. Actually, you can copy the whole text, okay? And afterwards, you go back to the website. So can you still see my screen? Yes?
No.
No,
Yes or no?
we just see the PPT.
Oh, okay, so I have to, that's interesting. So only the PPT, that's interesting. So maybe I should close, what about now?
No, doesn't.
No.
No, that's interesting. So,
It's because of the internet lag.
okay.
Uh,
Oh,
a bit lag, I think.
if I stop share, it'll be fine.
Uh,
Oh, okay. Okay, maybe I kind of a new share. Better now? Yes?
oh yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes?
No,
Okay, good. Okay, so I have chosen a text, okay? So now here, what you can do is just copy and paste it, okay? This is this text. So what else can you choose? Because this test is not that difficult, not that easy. Maybe I think could be, you know, suitable like for upper primary school students or maybe for junior secondary students. So let's click on the choose a band. Okay, classic. I think maybe we can choose a second 500 content. Okay, because we're not going to focus on academic words. These are academic words, remember, right? Okay, so maybe. Okay, so that means only the second 500 of the 1K, the first 1,000, you know, frequency vocabulary will be tested here. This is what it means, okay? The second half, okay, of the first 1,000 vocabulary will be tested here. And for the rest, actually, you can leave it, okay? You know, by default, it will choose BNC and the COCA, okay? And then, you know, here maybe you discover that certain words are quite difficult. Maybe you would like to block these words. That means these words will not be gapped. So what you need to do is very simple. You simply, for example, like just click, you know, double click. You see, you know, the word will be moved to this, you know, box for blocking. Okay. And maybe idle is also a difficult word. Double click on it and saving. Okay. And Napoleon is a name. No need to, you know, actually test this word. And absent it. Okay. So it means actually these 5 words will be blocked. So that means these 5 words will not be blocked. Okay. And then you can number question, tick number questions. Okay. And for paper, yes. Okay. And afterwards you click on submit. You can see that, you know, some nice, you know, neatly, you know, some neat, you know, closed test has been worked out for you, right? So all you need to do now is very easy, simple, just copy and paste, and then you can paste it in a Word file. Okay. So I hope that you find this closed test builder helpful. Okay. You can save your time, right? You know, to root all the words, right? Okay. All right. Okay, maybe let's go back to our slide, okay? Okay, so where's my slide? Look my...
Okay, perfect.
You can...
Yes, perfect.
All right, so can you see my slide now? Yes?
Yes.
Okay, good. Okay. All right. Maybe let's, you know, take a look at how to measure vocabulary size. So, you know, the well-known, you know, the most famous, you know, test to measure vocabulary size is Nation's vocabulary levels test. You remember the vocabulary levels test? I believe that all of you have tried this test to estimate your vocabulary size in our first session. Do you remember? Now I want to ask you, do you remember, how this test works? Do you still remember, how your vocabulary size is measured by this vocabulary test? Do you still remember? Do you remember that first, you were tested by which frequency level? Do you remember? Do we start with first thousand or second thousand? Second thousand, right? Yeah, second thousand. And later we have the third thousand, and then like university word list is similar to the academic words, right? And what else? And the 5,000 level, right? And also the last one is 10,000 level, right? 10,000 frequency level. Okay, that's it. So this test actually works with frequency levels. So from each frequency level, do you remember how many words are tested? Just to remember. 18 words were tested. Okay, I think for there are how many sets? I think there are some like 6 sets, right? Each set, 6 words were tested, right? Okay. So actually, you can find this test from this website. So actually, the rationale for of this vocabulary size test is easy. It's easy to understand. So usually we select 5 frequency levels. So the first 2,000 words, 3,000 words, 5,000 words, the university word list, and the 10,000 words. And afterwards, you calculate proportion. For example, like for a particular level, if you scored 12 words correctly out of 18 words, maybe at the 2,000 level, so you are supposed to know 2/3 of the words at level. Okay, so you know about like 1,330 words. So in this kind of vocabulary level test, only the meaning is tested, right? So actually, receptive vocabulary can also be tested using this vocabulary levels test. Okay, maybe let's go back to our. Okay. Can you see the website now? Yes.
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 Okay, good. So actually, this is a wonderful website. It has lots of good information. So you could go to tests. See here, tests. Okay. All right. So there are lots of tests. Later, I will introduce you, some important tests. Where can you find a nation's vocabulary level test, which you have tried before? Do you know which one? The first one, the second one, or the third one? Which one do you think? Do you still remember? Okay, vocabulary levels test here. The original version from 2,000 frequency to 10,000 frequency level. K means 1,000. Okay, so you see, do you remember that? So actually, there are 6 sets, right, for each frequency level. Oh, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's right. 6 words are provided, at the right, left, and then 3 definitions or synonyms, were provided at the right. So all you need to do is to choose, one word to match from the left to the right. For example, like complete, which word should we choose? The meaning for the word synonym should we choose?
Photo.
Yes, 6. And the first?
Original.
Original. No. That's right.
2.
Yes. Okay. So you do this, and then you can score. a test. That's interesting. I do not get the score here. Ah, okay. All right. Okay, so you can get the score, right? All right. Okay. So if you finish the whole test, score will be calculated for you automatically. Okay. So this is how this test works. Okay. So let's go back to our. So you can see that in this kind of a test, only meaning is tested, right? You don't need to know how the word is spelled, right? You don't need how it is used, right? Only meaning. Okay. And so the vocabulary levels test, can measure your vocabulary size and also can measure receptive vocabulary. Okay. All right, let's go back to our slide. Can you see this slide? Yes or no?
No.
Yes? Eugene, can you see my slide or not?
No.
No?
Not yet.
So what should I do?
How to turn on the things just now?
New share.
Yeah, I think so. And then
Each time I have to click on new share. Okay.
I think
What about
so.
now?
And then
Better?
perfect.
Okay, good. All right. So this is about vocabulary levels test. Okay. Actually, 3 years ago, I did a small scale study. I think I invited something like 20 or 30, first year university students from both Hong Kong and mainland China. And I used the vocabulary nations levels test, to measure the vocabulary size. So these are the results. So you can see that, from the table you can see that, both Hong Kong and Chinese first year university students, they are non-English majors, okay? They had very similar, vocabulary size at 2K and 3K level, right? However, the HK students, Hong Kong students, they had a larger vocabulary size at 5,000 frequency and university word list and 10,000 frequency levels, right? What about our METSO students? Okay, so you can compare this figure of your figure. So the size, of your size, to the METSO student 2 years ago. You can see that the results are very similar, right? Very similar. Okay. All right. Okay. Let's come back to the depths of how to measure depth of vocabulary knowledge. The depth of vocabulary knowledge is something different, right? So this dimension, is the vertical, how well you know some vocabulary knowledge. So how should we measure the depth of vocabulary knowledge? What do you think? Should we measure only the meaning? Apart from meaning, what else should we measure? What do you think?
Use the form.
Yes, and what else?
Function.
You mean how to use, right? How to use the word, right? Okay.
Yeah.
But for example, like if you're going to measure, the depth of vocabulary knowledge for a particular item, if you measure this way, it will be very, troublesome. So that means you have to design a test to measure its meaning, right? You have designed a question to measure its spelling. You have designed another question to measure its use, right? So it will take lots of time. So can we think of some tests, actually which will not be so troublesome, which can take us, much less time? Okay, well, we have an idea. A scholar called John Reed, okay, invented the word associates tests. I believe that when you see the word associations, you must be familiar with this word, right? Okay, we encountered the word associations in several lectures, right? Okay, now why is this a test called word associates test? Because this test tests word what? Can you complete my sentence? This type of test will test word associations between words. Okay, Because words are not, are not in isolation with each other in our mind, right? Actually, this also, reminds you of another key concept we learned, which is mental lexicon, right? Okay. So just to remember, the essential word associations, among words in our mental lexicon. What type of word associations can we have in our mental lexicon? Do you remember? Just to remember. Words can be connected to each other via meaning, like the synonym or hyponym, right? Endonym, right? Okay. And words can also collocate with each other, right? As collocates, right? Are related with each other by collocates. When words are are connected with each other via meaning, we call paradigmatic associations. Do you still remember? And when words tend to connect with each other, as a type of collocation, it's called, just don't remember, syntagmatic, right? Okay, right. All right. So this is exactly what the word association tests would like to test. Okay, so it tests the the relationships between words. Okay, now let's take an example like edit is a verb, right? Okay, synonym. In this case, we test the paradigmatic associations. Like edit, is similar to revise, right? They are synonyms. Okay. It also tests the syntagmatic association, like collocates, like add is a text, right? Text is a common collocate. Text is a common collocate for edit. In addition to syntagmatic associations, it also tests another type of meaning, analytical meaning, or prototypical meaning. For example, like edit, why do we need to edit? Because edit is, is associated with the publishing, right? Publishing, industry, right? Okay. So in this kind of word association test, it will test two types of meaning, like synonyms or prototypical meaning, and one type of use, collocates. Okay. So in other words, this type of test actually will measure what kind of a knowledge of mental lexicon. Can you provide a missing word? The net word. It measures the net. Anyone? Hello? Is anyone there? Just wait.
Network knowledge.
Network knowledge, that's right. Okay. Yes, network knowledge, okay? Network knowledge, okay. Yeah, network knowledge of the mental lexicon, okay? Okay, I think maybe let's try a quick test of Lex Tutor, okay? This word associates tests. Okay. So I'm going to show you the website. New share. Okay. Can you see the screen? My screen now?
Yes.
Good. So this is the word associates test. So maybe you don't know how to, do this test. So first you have to do is click on the instructions. So when you click on the instruction, it will show you, how you can work out this test. For example, like, here there's a keyword sudden. Sudden is a keyword. Sudden is a keyword, right? So you can see how many boxes there. 8 boxes, right? Okay. So 4 at the left and 4 at the right. Okay. So the words here on the left side may help you to explain the meaning of sudden. So the words, those at the left, will explain the meaning. And the words on the right side are nouns that may come after sudden in phrase or sentence. Or in other words, it's kind of, these are the nouns, non-collocates for sudden, right? Okay. So what should you do? You have to tick 4 boxes. from all these 8 boxes. Could be, you know, two from the left or 2 from the right, or 1 from the right, 3 from the left, or, you know, 1 on the left and 3 on the right. Okay, so altogether you can only choose 4. Okay, all right. So maybe let's, you know, okay. So can you work out, you know, the choices, the 4 choices for the word bright. So bright is adjective, right? Okay. So now, could you please choose altogether 4 boxes, you know, out of the 8 provided here? Okay. So bright. But on the right side, on the left side, so which boxes will you choose for the meaning?
Shining.
Shining. What else?
Clever.
Clever.
Happy.
What else? If you're not sure, you can choose the, you know, the collocations.
Color.
Color. Okay. What else?
Happy on the left.
What else?
Oh.
We still need 1, either from the left or from the right. You can either choose 1 meaning or you can choose a collocate.
Happy.
Which one?
Happy on the left.
Happy?
Yes.
Okay. So let's check. Yes. You see, all 4 choices are correctly chosen. But you can see that as you know, bright is a very simple word, right? But it did, you know, take you some time to work out the choices, right? So you can see that, you know, for the you know, word associates test, it does, you know, test the depth knowledge, not only meaning recognition, you know, not only how to spell the word right. Okay, so it will take you some time. And later in our tutorial, I actually I printed out I think 10 words, okay, or maybe 20 words, okay, and you can try to work out, you know, this test, and we can test your vocabulary depth knowledge, okay. So let's go back to our okay, screen. Just okay. Better now? Can you see the screen? Yes.
Yes.
Can you see the screen? Yes.
Yes, the slides.
Yeah. Can you see this? Can you see the slide? Yes. Okay. Good.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Good. Now, how do we, you know, assess vocabulary use in writing? You know, that means, for example, like you ask students to write an essay about maybe 2 to 3, you know, 100 words, right? You're going to assess the quality of vocabulary in writing. You know, if the essay is not, you know, very long, like 2 to 3, you know, 2 to 300 words, right? Maybe you can, you know, for example, like calculate the words by yourself. For example, like which words are in a 1,000 family, which words are in a 2,000 family, right? But what about when you need to handle essay of 2 to 3,000 words? It will take you lots of time. So in this case, we can use some software, which is called a lexical frequency profile. You know, this software actually is developed by Lawford Nation. Okay, so this software can measure the lexical richness that may affect quality of writing. I think all of us, you know, have this kind of, you know, experience that if students can use vocabulary quite well, usually the writing quality is quite high, right? Okay. You know, the lexical frequency profile, this software also makes use of the, you know, frequency levels, like the 1K, 2K level, the university word list, and less frequent words. So what is called the less frequent words? It means all those words which are beyond these 3 levels. So it may include like 3,000, 5,000, 6,000, 7,000, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so yeah, so all these, you know, all those words which are not you know, with 1K, 2K, and university word list levels. Okay. Again, I think the rationale of this, you know, vocabulary software is quite simple. You have to calculate a proportion, you know, or percentage of words students can use for each frequency level. For example, like suppose students have written, you know, an array of 250 word families. You know, the 100 belongs to the 1000 level, and another 100 belongs to the 2K level, and 30 are the university words list, and 20 less frequent. So you simply calculate a percentage. This is very easy, okay? Actually, now I'm going to show you how you can run this kind of analysis by yourself. So first you have to go to Nation's website, okay? Okay, so just follow the link. All right, now I'm going to share you this website, okay? Okay, I think it's this one. Okay, so can you see this website? Yes?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so you can see here. Okay, you know, you can download the range program. I would suggest you to download this version, range program with BNC and Coca. I think altogether it has you know, a vocabulary size of 2,500 to 25,000 words. Okay, I think it's large enough, right? Okay, so just click on it and you can download it. It's very easy. And I'm going to show you the one I downloaded. Okay. Okay. Can you? I think I'll have to have new share. Okay. Can you see my screen? Yes.
Yes.
So actually, you have downloaded the zip folder. You unzip it, then you can see all this. You can see that this base word true. What does this base word mean? Base word doesn't mean the first 1,000, the first 1,000 frequency words, the second frequency 1,000 words. Okay, so until, you know, it's pretty large enough, right? Okay. If you don't know how to use it, you can just click on the instructions for range, which I've uploaded to Moodle. Okay, you can take a look by yourself. Okay, now I'm going to show you how this software works. So did you see this? You know, this software here, this icon, range
Yes.
32H.
Yes.
You know, for this file, this software, it only works on TXT file. So you have to prepare your TXT file. You can see here, already prepared a sample in TXT file. Okay, so you can convert a Word file easily in TXT file. Okay, this is very easy. So all you need to do is just click on the range. You see this window? Can you see that?
Yes.
Yes.
And then what you can do is click on File and File and Open. So you open the TXT file. So which this one? TXT file. Okay, and you click Open. All right. And then you have to go back to File again, and you have to click on Save. And you give a name. I just still writing. You can give a different name if you want. Okay. Sample. Open. Because in this case, it was saved in a range file. And then when this is done, you click on Process File. You see, the processing of this file is very quickly. It's finished. And then you can go back here. You can see that there's a range file here, automatically saved. Did you see that? Yes? Okay. Range, okay, it's different. It's not TXT, it's still TXT file, but you know, the ending has range. Okay? This is my original file. This is a range file. Okay? So you can see. All right. So you can read the results. You know, so altogether, they are, you know, in this sample, I see, you know, number of words. So it's about like 2,438 words. Okay. Okay, and you can see the frequency levels. One means what? the first
1,000.
1,000. 2 means second 1,000. 3 means it's not 3,000. I think it's the academic words, okay? And this is not in the lists, the less frequent words. So you can see the percentage. It shows you the original number and also the percentage. So 69.20%. Okay, and okay, so for this essay you can see that the student use lots of 1K level. It's understandable, right? Actually, you can check your own writing. I believe that you will the 1K level will be the largest. Okay, right. And then the 2K level and academic words, is about 9%. I think it's pretty good, right? Just to remember, usually the academic words will count for like 10% of all text, right? So I think the 9% is pretty good for this student. And there also, 10%, or almost 11%, which are beyond the first 3 frequency levels. I think it's pretty good, right? Okay, but here you see there's tokens and types. The figures are different. Just to remember the difference between tokens and types. That's my question. Just to remember the difference between tokens and types.
Yes.
But
Type
tokens is you just count the word,
one by
no
one.
matter it repeats again, right? But types you only count a different word. So in this case, you can see that the type is much smaller than token, right? You can see that, right? For example, like in a 1K, there are almost 16,000 tokens. However, only less than 400 types, right? Okay, so I think actually maybe it's better when it comes to evaluation. I think it's better to look at the type, right? Type perhaps is more accurate. What do you think? Okay. You can see that the difference. The token is about 2,400, but the type is about less than 1,000. Right. Okay. But what about if you want to, the detailed? Here you only know 4 frequency levels. Maybe you would like to know more, right? It is possible. Okay, so I'll close it. Close it. Okay. So we go back to our. Okay. We'll go back to our range program. I open it again. Can you see this? Okay, and I'm going to new share. Range. Can you see this? Yes?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So if, for example, like by default, number of base words is 3, right? But maybe you could specify to be 10. That means you can know students' frequency levels from the 1K level to the 10K level. So you specify it here, 10, okay? Then you repeat the same process. Okay, now open, and then we have to choose this txt file, right? And then you click on our save. Okay, student writing. Maybe I put 10. Okay, so okay, right, open. And then afterwards, you can process the file. Okay, finished. And then you can see that there's a new file here. Student writing 10 range. Did you see that? Do you see this or not? Okay. It doesn't matter. I'll open it for you. Okay, it will be different. New share. Okay. Do you see this new file?
Yes.
Yeah, you can see that here we have more like 1, 2, 3, 4. This means 1K, 2K, 3K, 4K. Okay. So here you have more detailed information about students' vocabulary in terms of the 10 frequency levels. Okay. So do you understand how this software works? Yes.
Yes.
I think this is a wonderful tool if you would like to do some research, related to student, vocabulary use in writing. Okay. All right. Okay. Let's go back to our slide. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to share a slide. Okay. So how do we generally measure students' vocabulary use in writing? An easy way is to measure students' vocabulary quantitatively. Vocabulary used quantitatively, not qualitatively, in 3 aspects. Can you try to, provide the 3 missing words? So that means there are 3 indexes we have to look at when we measure students' vocabulary knowledge quantitatively writing. So lexical, SO,
SO.
SOPHI,
Surface.
sophistication.
Sophistication.
Yeah, sophistication. That means how, whether you can use sophisticated vocabulary. That means, in other words, you don't only use like very easy vocabulary, like 1K or 2K levels, right? Maybe you try to use more off-list words, which is beyond, the 1K, 2K or academic words, right? In this case, well, we can see, so how do we measure this? We calculate, for example, all the off-list words, okay? And then divided by the total number of words, we calculate a proportion, a percentage. So the high percentage means we use a lot of sophisticated words, right? We don't just use the 1K or 2K or academic words, right? This is how we measure lexical sophistication. Okay? You don't need to worry about that. I'm going to show you a website which can calculate this index for you automatically, okay? So that's the first index. What about second index? Lexical
Variation.
That's right. Variation, lexical variation. So what does it mean? I remember, when we test the range software, I showed you 2 types of figures. One is type, the other is token, right? So the lexical variation means you do not use the same words. If you have a good lexical variation, that means your type, you use lots of, the types of the words will be relatively high, right? So when we calculate lexical variation, we simply calculate type token ratio, okay? So for example, in the previous writing sample I showed you, for example, like there are about 700 types, right? And about 2,400 tokens. So you simply, 700 divided by 2,400, you get a percentage, right? The higher the better, right? So this is how we measure lexical variation. And what about last one? Lexical DEN. Density. What does it mean? I think earlier we discussed 2 types of, words: lexical words and grammatical words, right?
Grammatical words.
Lexical words are content words like nouns, verbs. What else? Adjectives, adverbs.
Adverbs.
Yes. And grammatical words are, for example, conjunctions, prepositions, articles, etc. Right? So if you have a high, a density of lexical use, that means which type of words do you use? Lexical words or grammatical?
Lexical words.
So in this case, we calculate proportion, between the lexical words and grammatical, or total, number of words. Okay. So this is how we measure lexical density. Okay. Now I'm going to. Okay. Now, do you have any question about the previous, the 3 concepts I discussed? Yes or no? No?
No.
No.
Okay. All right. Okay, good. Now I'm going to show you the website. Again, this is a wonderful website that, again, Tom Cobb's website, okay, which you can check vocabulary use in writing. That means you can automatically generate these 3 types of indexes. Okay, so you go back to next. I'm going to share the screen with you, okay? New share, okay? Okay, so you go to vocabulary profile here. Do you see this? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so open it. By default, usually we choose the classic, right? The classic means the best, right? Well, the best example, right? Okay, so we choose this. So all you need to do is, you just copy and paste the test here. Okay, so maybe we can just use the student sample, which okay, maybe let's just use, okay, just wait. Okay. Okay, so I just copy a part of student essay. Can you see this website?
Yes.
Yes.
So you paste. So all you need to do is paste. You can give a title if you wish. And then what you need to do is just click the submit window. Very easy. Okay, you can see that. So K1, what does it mean?
Once the first sound.
Okay, K2, 2K. And academic words, you see that? And off-list words. So you can see the proportion here. Okay, also to give you the types and tokens, and then give you the percentage. Did you see that? Okay. Now I want you to tell me, okay, I'll give you maybe some time to observe this figure, okay? So, which figure, is the measure for lexical sophistication? Remember, you have to focus on off-list words. So the words which are beyond 1K, 2K, and academic words. So it's here, right? So what is the percentage here? You see the percentage? You see this? 9.82.
Two.
So 9.82% words are the, can measure the lexical sophistication, right? Okay. Now, which figure of, can we measure the type token ratio? Did you see the type token ratio here? Type token ratio. So it's about like, it's about 41%, which is pretty high, right? Pretty high, right? Yes, it's pretty good.
Yes.
Now, what about lexical density? Do you see that? Lexical density is here, right? Okay. So actually 63%. I think it's pretty good, right? Do you agree? Yeah, okay. So actually, you can use, this website to measure, all these lexical indexes for you. Let's go back to our slide. Okay. Also, I would like to show you very briefly, other types of vocabulary tests you might be interested if you want to, for example, work on, vocabulary assessment for your final assignment. So you go back to this, website, okay? But I'm going to just go back to this. I'm going to share the website with you. Oh.
Why?
Okay.
Share again.
Share again.
Just click this one. Right.
Can you see that? Can you see this? Can you
yes.
see the computer screen?
Yes.
We go to these tests. Now, I have already showed you this nation's vocabulary size test, right? So actually can only measure size, okay? And also I showed you this, word associates test, and measure vocabulary depth, okay? And I'm going to show you a few more, all right? Maybe you can, for example, what about, primary school teachers? Your students, primary school students' vocabulary size. VLT means vocabulary levels test. You can use, 1K means it only will measure the first 1,000 frequency levels. Okay, so it's suitable for primary school students. I think there are two forms. It doesn't matter. I think maybe just try form 1. You can see that this test is different from the previous one, right? So it's like it's kind of like a simple multiple choice. So this one is little, so it means refers to this one. It makes use of the image, okay? And then students have to choose like T means true, M means
Not true.
X means you don't understand. You don't understand, you know, the word in the, you know, the sentence, okay? Okay, so in this case, should it be what? The one is little, true, right?
True.
You can find this everywhere. Can you find this everywhere?
No.
Yeah, so it's very easy. Test is suitable for measuring primary school students' size, right? Okay, so you can do this.
So interesting.
Yeah, interesting. So you can, again, it's interactive. You can click on the score. Okay, you can obtain the score automatically. The first test I'm going to show you. Okay. Okay. So let's go back. I'm going to also show you productive, because you know there are lots of you know receptive, right? But there's only one productive. Okay. All right. So we just try this. Okay. Again, it works on frequency levels. Maybe let's try the 3K level. Okay. So can you know? So you can see that it's very easy. It's a gut feeling, right? And about some letters are provided. For example, like which letters are you going to? What letters are going to feel for the first one? As a successful
Career.
Yes, career. What about the second one? Through what? You know, it requires some time because blind. Throw something in his face and made him blind. What do you think? Acid, right? ACID.
Oh, acid.
So you say productive is more difficult, even at 3K level, right? It's not that easy, right? Okay. That the meaning, you have to know how to spell the word, right? Okay. So anyway, I'll leave it for you to explore by yourself, okay? All right.
Okay.
And I'm going to also show you VST. VST, vocabulary size test. This is a new format. It's different from the vocabulary levels test, but also you know this vocabulary is supposed to measure vocabulary size. It's also worked out by Nation and his colleague. It works on frequency level. First 1,000, second 1,000, third 1,000, until the 11,000. No, 12,000. 13,000. 14,000. So it will be very time consuming, all right? So this is a multiple choice question. You have to choose a word. You know, that meaning is similar, that can replace saw. Okay. All right, for example, they saw it.
Okay. Not that.
Yeah, that's right. So this is how you do this. Okay. All right. Just one more, test I'm going to show you, the phrase test. That means you don't only test individual words, you're going to test phrases. So this one, PVST, phrasal test, okay? You know, it only tests words from the first 1,000 till the 5,000 frequency levels, 5,000, okay? So it tests like a common phrases like go on, I mean, lead to a list. As a result, okay, at once, all over, feel like, okay. I think it's very easy for you, but it may be difficult for your students, like primary students or maybe junior secondary school students, right? Again, I think you can see that it's kind of a choice. you have just choose one word to replace. I think again meaning is tested, right? Okay, like for example, like oh, it will go on. Best choice should be which one? Which one? Continue, right? Continue. That's right. Okay, continue. Okay. All right. You should be continue. Okay. Then you can score. Okay. All right. I think actually I have talked long enough. Okay. I believe that you must be very tired. Okay. All right. All right. Do you have any questions to ask me about our assignment or topic covered from this? Or any questions related to the topic vocabulary assessment covered in this topic? So time for question. Time for question now. I believe you're tired. Okay.
Is it a must that the harder the words, the writing must be better? Is it a essential relationship?
In which type of test?
Like if two pieces of writing, one piece use simpler words, one piece use more difficult words. Is it a must?
Actually, earlier I mentioned this is only quantitative measure, right? So that means it just provides you with some basic frequency level information, right? But I believe there's also quality dimension. I think in this case we need a teacher's judgment, for example, whether students have used the word accurately, right? And also, for example, like there's some creative use of the language, right? This is, I think, cannot be solved by simply looking at the quantitative aspects like lexical sophistication, density, or variation. Okay. Anyway, thank you for your question, Eugene. What about other students? Do you have some questions? Do you have any question about the final assignment, which I've already uploaded? For sample essays for you to take a look. But again, as I repeated, many times, they are only for your reference, but not a perfect model for you to follow or imitate, right? If you would like to, aim for a high grade, there should be certain originality or creativity, which maybe the sample essays could not demonstrate. Okay, all right. So any questions about our final assignment? It's up to you. Okay, are you happy, or would you like to take a break and then continue for our short Q&A session? Just we have to make a decision now. Okay. Okay.
We would take a break and think about the question.
Are you trying to think about a question? Okay. What about you can take a break for 5 minutes, okay? And then we'll continue afterwards. Will be okay? Yes?
Okay.
Okay. So yeah. Okay. Okay. Right. So we can take a break now. Okay. If you want to ask me questions, you have to unmute. So you can. I believe you can unmute yourself, right? Okay. You need to unmute the speaker. Okay. So everybody, are you sure you have no questions? If you have no questions, we'll call it the end. Will be okay? I'll give you 1 minute to think, okay? All right. I know it's our first online session, right? Maybe some of you will not be that feel comfortable, okay? And I think it's also a little bit, I feel a little bit strange, because I'm, just seeing my screen instead of, seeing you or interacting with you.
讲完了，
Probably
最后一
towards
页
the end, some of you can follow me, right?
嗯
Yes.
，yes，
戏嘛，词汇学。
Actually, we're only,
我按住了。
yes. Do you have any question? Okay. End today, okay?
Clear, so cute.
All right.
我按
You
那
need
个
to
它
unmute
就
your speaker.
弹到我的画面。
All right. Okay.
Okay.
Send me
Email.
email if you have questions.
Okay.
那个也进去了，你讲话。
Okay, so bye bye.
Enjoy the rest.
Okay, so I'm going to end it. Okay, all right.
Okay,
Okay, bye bye. Okay, bye bye.
bye.